Okay, so now we'll get into a question that I'm sure you might be having, which is about flow state. So you might be asking, what's the difference between masterpiece mode and flow state? Well, flow state is a very powerful tool and it's getting more and more recognition, deservedly so. However, it's just one piece of the puzzle, whereas masterpiece mode incorporates the whole picture. So let's take a look at an analogy here. And I'll start off with that analogy with a question, which is, you can be in the flow, but where are you flowing to? So imagine that you are a car and you're driving down a highway. Flow state helps you go faster down the highway, helps you maneuver the lanes, flow down the highway, okay? But what if you're on the wrong highway? Again, a very powerful tool to go down, go further, go faster, but what if you're going in the wrong direction? And this is the thing that the conversation of flow state is really missing right now. And we see this in a very common example of, say, take an artist, it might be a musician, and they can get into the flow when they're singing, when they're in band practice, whatever it might be. They get into the flow, but they don't have a career. So flow state is a piece of the puzzle, very useful, very necessary piece, but it doesn't solve the problem of direction, consistent direction over time, which is absolutely needed to create your masterpiece. So masterpiece mode continually navigates you along the optimal route. Your mind, the unified neural network that we just spoke about, is connected in such a way that it's navigating you like a GPS in real time in every decision, big and small, to navigate you on the optimal route. And as that consistently happens over time, you're driving in the right direction, you're building in the right direction, you're stacking gains in your lane. And it helps you follow your genius path to your masterpiece. You see, every person has a genius path. There are 22 different expressions of genius based on ancient psychology. And each of us has our own combination of those expressions. And we have different phases of when those expressions turn on, so to speak, in our life. So the better we navigate our genius path, the faster, the better we create our masterpiece. And if you don't have your Genius Path report yet, it's on the website. You just you get it for free Genius Path report. And it'll show you, I mean, it's an incredible tool on its own. It will show you what your path is and the steps on that path and what's preventing it. It's incredible. It makes it so easy. And that's what you get when you combine these things for over 65 years of research. We got some phenomenal tools that really shorten the curve. So let's take a look at masterpiece mode. Conceptually, what is it then? Well, it combines your passion, it combines your unique genius, and it combines your purpose all together. And if you don't know necessarily what your passion truly is, turning on masterpiece mode will solve it. If you don't know what your genius, your unique genius is, maybe you know what you're kind of good at, but you don't really know that thing that is just totally you, that you love doing and you're the best at, well, when you turn on masterpiece mode, you'll know that. And if you know your purpose, then if you're 100% clear on your purpose, then congratulations, you are in very rare company. As Abraham Maslow says, it isn't normal to know what we want. He's talking about your purpose. It isn't normal to know our purpose. It is a rare and difficult psychological achievement. Okay? So if you do know yours, then congratulations. Boom. That's going to make masterpiece mode even more fantastic for you. If you don't know your purpose, then you have nothing to worry about, because clicking on masterpiece mode, boom, illuminates your purpose and It fucking connects you to the drive of your purpose. Have you ever seen someone who's on fire and they're just on a mission, and you know that that mission is unified mind, body, and spirit, and they're plowing forward? It's because it's the drive of their purpose. And the nice thing is that when you click on masterpiece mode, boom, that activates within you. And what's also powerful about it is that this isn't the old school religious programming that everybody's got to have the same purpose, the same verbiage, the same beliefs. No. It's not that at all. You have a unique genius inside of you. You have a unique purpose inside of you. You have a unique path inside of you. And your journey is to follow that. It's not to be a clone of anybody else. It's not to be a clone of me. It's not to be a clone of anybody. It's to be your unique path. That's why up above right there, it says decode your genius. Okay? You really are the star of the show. You really are. So your purpose is going to connect to you, and it's already there. That's the amazing thing. You don't have to go and find it. It's within you. And when you click on masterpiece mode, it just opens what's already there and then puts the gas pedal in the drive to go forward. And that's why it's so fucking exciting, because we are all creating a community here where everybody has a shared powerful vision, of improving the world, improving ourselves, okay? So that's where we're united. Yet, we all also get to keep the identity, the personal uniqueness, that we can all achieve that vision in different ways. And that's what makes this community so powerful, is that we're united in the right way, and we also get to keep our individuality, our expression, our creativity in the same way. We don't have to be a bunch of clones, okay? So let's take a look at some of the things that's going on in the brain for each of these phases of purpose, passion, and genius. First off, we're going to take a look at genius, okay? So when a person is demonstrating traits of being in their genius, and this can be in an isolated time or kind of over, it's mainly when they're essentially in the zone, okay? So it goes from agitated beta, those brain waves start going down to calmer alpha, sometimes gamma brainwaves. And this creates a relaxedness, which creates lateral thinking, cognitive flexibility. So that's being able to zoom around, so to speak, of taking perhaps unrelated topics, previously thought unrelated topics, and then linking them together. This is where a lot of innovation comes from, where it's perhaps taking a technique from an unrelated industry and then bringing it into a new one. So lateral thinking allows you to combine different concepts together. Cognitive flexibility is about not being rigid in the same way. It's expanding the mind and putting new things together. Okay, this is a trait of genius. And again, everybody has their own unique genius. Anandamide is connected with that as well, neurochemical. And what we see here is resource reallocation. So energy normally used for, say, temporal processing is redirected in the brain to different areas, so that there's an increase in focus, attention, taking in more data and processing it per second. Okay, subconscious mind starts being more in the driver's seat, which allows the data processing to increase, because our conscious mind can only process a fraction of the data that the subconscious mind does. So when we go into a state where the brain waves are conducive for the subconscious mind to come up and be more in the driver's seat, boom, we're assimilating more data. And then that's what leads to those aha moments, the eureka moments, where all of a sudden it's not clicking and all of a sudden, boom, something clicks, okay? This is the mechanics of what's actually going on in the brain. And so what we see is a downregulation in the prefrontal cortex, which we've got right here, which creates the feeling, the result of a feeling of a loss of sense of self, which actually is a very positive thing, because when we let go of that, we can get more connected to what we're working on, or the vision, whatever's that's being flowed to. Okay. Also get a sense of a loss of time. That's all from the downregulation of the prefrontal cortex, which if you've ever, we've all had that time where we've been immersed in something. Even like you think back to when you were a kid, you just got immersed into it. So the loss of the sense of self is downregulating. The sense of time is downregulating. Okay, in the prefrontal cortex, and that's reallocating resources to different parts of the brain. We also see a down regulation in the cerebellum. And so this is a loss of body awareness, loss of sensory and motory functions. Okay, so obviously if your genius is being expressed through, say, a physical activity, then that, of course, there's different ways that applies here. But overall, generally, it's a loss of the body awareness where maybe you're in the zone and you forget, the feeling that you are on a chair, or you forget the feeling in your feet, okay? And you're just absorbed into it. This is what the mechanics of what's actually going on in the brain. And an example of this, as I was going through the biography of Elon Musk, is there was these times when he was a kid where he just totally was in his mind, like thinking something through so intensely that people were like putting their hand in front of his eyes and they weren't even moving. It's just like everything else just went on pause and his mind was going. And I thought that was interesting. And then as I went through the research, I was like, oh, okay, this is the explanation of the mechanics here. It's like that the areas of the brain that deal with the sensory motor functions shut down, vision shuts down, okay, and those resources are allocated, boom, to that area of problem solving in the brain. Okay. So now let's go ahead and go over to passion. Okay. So passion really is connected to whole brain thinking, because on the left brain, we have very logical, linear type of thinking. The right brain is more creative, flowing, expansive type thinking. So when we put them together, that's really is the combination of passion. We're feeling the creativity and the flow, while also the left brain is directing it towards a place. And whole brain thinking, you'd think that, the brains are so close together that you can just, connect them over and kind of just harmonize them. But what actually has to happen is that people start off in the left brain entrepreneurs always start in the left brain. So they start in the left brain, and I'm just going to go, just to make it simple, let's just go on the left here. I know that he's, that's actually his right brain, but if we're just looking at it, you got to go down to the heart and then go up to the brain, and then it harmonizes them together, okay? And the reason why that is through a concept called coherence. So the coherence is when your brain and your heart are in a synchronized rhythm together. And Heart Math Institute has a bunch of research on this that they've developed. So this is also the mechanics behind the fire, the mojo, the drive. It's when your head and your heart are unified, working together. The brain and heart neurons are synchronized, in a specific type of way. So what happens is norepinephrine is released, which tightens focus, raises heart rate, blood vessel vasodilation, allows more blood flow to happen, and mind-body connection increases. All right. So if you think about when you're really passionate, it just makes sense that all these things are happening. And the neurochemicals like norepinephrine, they're neurotransmitters in the brain. So they're carrying chemicals that produce what we know as certain emotions. Okay. Certain states of arousal, of emotional arousal. Dopamine is also connected to this, which is essentially a quick hit of pleasure. It's a reward chemical. So when we feel the passion and we're implementing, we feel good. We feel the focus, the raised heart rate, the mind-body connection. Okay. So you can imagine if a person isn't bringing any passion to their business, they're leaving a whole fucking ton of stuff on the table by only using their left brain. Now let's go to purpose. All right. So when a person is in a state of really feeling connected to their purpose, see a down regulation of the right parietal lobe. Got that right here. which creates a feeling of being one with the universe. Now, depending on your belief pattern, people associate that with a, God or whatever religion is, whatever that higher power is, they feel that, okay? And also a loss of regular body recognition. Okay, and that's part of that feeling one with the higher power, is that your feeling is going beyond just the confines of your body in time and space, or what your brain knows your body as in time and space. Okay. Also see an upregulation of right temporal lobe. We got that right in the middle here. So that the mechanics of that produces a sense of higher power, a sense of higher intelligence. So the first one is feeling one with everything. The other one is really connecting to that higher power, the higher intelligence that brings order to your life and your journey. Also see a downregulation in the amygdala, which calms the flight or fight response in the body. Okay, allows a peace to settle in. So you can imagine when all these things are connecting, and you're feeling one with all that are around you. You're feeling a sense of higher power that's guiding your life. And you're feeling more peace of not having to be in the rat race of fighting, fight or flight, how you look, how you're going to be perceived. It's a very nice place to be. It's a very powerful place to be, because you can imagine making decisions from that place rather than a reactive place. So the neurotransmitter that's connected with this state is oxytocin. So a feeling of peace, trust, bonding, social connection, all right? Serotonin, which creates a good mood, happiness, a feeling of well-being. And this is different than dopamine, because dopamine is a quick hit of pleasure. Serotonin is a longer lasting general mood of happiness and well-being, okay? And all of these come together to create masterpiece mode, passion, genius, purpose. All right? So now let's get into the cognitive effects that stack together when you're in masterpiece mode. Okay? So first off, we've got hemisphere harmonization. So unifying left and right brain into whole brain thinking. That's what we went through in the passion segment. So utilizing left brain and right brain. Then we've got, that jumped. Then we got the flow state. Very important. So that's high performance brainwaves. So you can go faster down your path. Then we've got coherence, which is where your brain and your heart are aligned. Okay? So you know what you need to do, and you freaking feel the fire to do that. And then we've got meta motivation. So this is a term by Abraham Maslow, and you're feeling driven by your self-actualization. Okay, and yes, everybody wants to be better, and people will improve. A lot of people improve themselves out of fear. And meta motivation is being like, okay, what is my mission? And rain or shine, I am going to do that mission every single fucking day. No matter what happens to me or the outside world, the mission is not changing. It's not like a business that you just hop from different industry to industry, serial, looking for the opportunities. Meta motivation is, okay, I'm connected to my purpose. I can feel and see the vision, even if not all the details are there. And I am 100% committed to moving forward. Now, that doesn't mean you turn into a workaholic that's unproductive and you just always have to be, working. But what it does mean is that your commitment changes from, okay, I'm just seeking out the opportunities, to I know why the fuck I'm here on this planet, and I'm moving forward on that every single day. meta motivation. Then emotional alignment is key, because if your emotions are resisting your path, then it's not going to be a smooth ride. So it's aligning and making sure that your emotional state of being, both conscious and subconscious, is supporting your self-actualization. And this is where the concept, which we have in the method, is called reverse your resistance. So the emotional resistance that you have consciously and subconsciously, which subconsciously is even stronger, we're reversing that so that it's supporting your forward momentum. And then another key piece is self-actualization implementation, because if people don't fucking move on their path, then nothing else matters. So that's consistent action of building your masterpiece. And guess what? Consistent action of building your masterpiece becomes so much easier when you got these things clicked into place.